Shame is not, I made a mistake. Shame is, I am a mistake. Shame is not, I did something wrong. Shame is, I am wrong. Shame is that undefinable feeling. It is so hard to put shame into words. It's like being caught. You feel wrong. You're afraid of being caught and being seen for the things that you don't like about yourself. Think about the most embarrassing thing that you do alone and having somebody walk in on you. That feeling of humiliation, of worthlessness, of not good enough. We sit in that shame when it hits. We are exposed before we're ready to be exposed. I have spent my entire life waking up and fighting out of the feeling of I am wrong and I am a mistake. I have overcompensated and had to prove my worth and value to myself and to others, trying to get those mirroring faces back to take away that shame. It was just an act, pretending to be better than we are, keeping so far away from those feelings. That shameful feeling is like somebody cutting your legs out from under you. It is taking all the breath out of your body, all the good feeling, and just feeling like you are exposed for the fraud and the worthlessness that you feel. The podcast for me was going into my shame and coming out of hiding. I tell some really painful stories of my life in that podcast, and it has healed me so much because I'm not in hiding anymore. I've come out of hiding and I started to show myself, and as I showed myself, other people have shown up and said, hey, I feel the same way. I've been going through the same things. See, my pain felt extraordinary because I was living it alone. What I realized is that my pain and my shame and my suffering is ordinary. And the way that that became ordinary is because I was able to express it and have people come and reach out to me and say they feel the same, which takes away that isolation and it takes away the shame. See, if I'm the only one thinking I'm going through this, I'm gonna sit in this protective place so that nobody ever sees how defective I feel. When I come out and say I'm broken and I'm defective and I'm struggling and I'm not good enough, people connect and tell you they feel the same way. You don't feel as bad about you, and they don't feel as bad as about them because you're out of isolation. You're connecting with others on the same level. You are going into your shame and you are showing yourself what you are ashamed of so that you can heal it, instead of pretending it's not there and burying it, and always be on guard to never be caught off guard. Shame loves to stay hidden. Shame loves darkness. You shine light on that shame. You come out of hiding. That shame slowly dissipates. With all the words that I've spoken over the years, nobody can come at me and tell me I'm this or that and me have a reaction, because I know it about myself. I have told myself and I have told others, and I've made myself okay with it. I have owned a lot of the parts of me that I had cut off and hidden from the world. Shame is so debilitating, but sitting in hiding does not heal it. We have to start taking a look at it, the things we're not good at. Put ourselves in places where we are exposed to our shame. When you start to process and deal with and absorb and sit in and sink into and wrap yourself around your own shame, you don't have to hide it anymore. You don't have to sit there and walk out of your house and into situations feeling on guard and protected that somebody will see you for the person that you think you are, because your perception of you is not the world's perception. We have a negative belief system about ourselves and we believe it to be true. And the only way that I know to counteract that is to actually engage with people and say, this is where I feel broken, this is where I feel defective, this is the way my emotions take over, and this is the way I respond, and I know it's not good, and I know it's not healthy, and I know it's not fair to me or anybody else in my life. and have people that you share this with look back at you and tell you, yeah, I have felt the same and I have acted in similar ways. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. There's nothing to be ashamed about. This was an adaptation of where you came from. You had to become these things. You had to cut off these parts of you, but you don't have to do it anymore. You can go into it. You can start to own it. You can shine that light on it. The more the shame that you expose to yourself, the more you start to accept the decisions and the choices that you made, that you had no choice, that because shame was running the show, it was making decisions on your behalf unconsciously, and you made decisions that make you feel embarrassed and stupid and humiliated. You had no choice at the time. You were doing the best with the information that you had. But now you're starting to know better. You're starting to understand that you do have worth and value, and what happened to you wasn't your fault. And the shame that people transferred onto you so that they didn't feel their own is not yours to carry anymore. There's nothing to be humiliated or embarrassed about within you. It's just working through it and starting to understand it and sharing it with somebody you trust so that they can show you a different point of view, that they can show you a different perspective. They can see it in a less emotional light, and then they will let you into their world, and they will explain shameful things to you, and it levels the playing field. The less we fear shame, fear being seen before we're ready to be seen, the more we can own the parts of us, the less guarded we have to be, the easier life gets. We don't have to hide and protect from it anymore. We need to go into it and examine it and feel it and experience it so that we know how to deal with these feelings and emotions that scare us. It is frightening. Shame, I wake up and I have to dig out of shame every single morning still. I wake up and it just had taken me over. And I have to produce in ways to take me out of that shame. See, the goal is to be, not to be a human doing, to get out of your shame, but be a human being and embrace your shame and make it a part of you instead of cutting it off and hiding it. Shame is the key to freedom. Get in there and take a look at it.